Hi, I'm James Dunn. Welcome to the Inside Network. Welcome to INDepth, where my guest is Andrew Patrick, Managing Director of MARQ Trustees. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you, James. Good to be here.
Pleasure to have you. Andrew, I think it's good to start with a summary of MARQ Trustees and its history.
So, James, I'm a chartered accountant. I was a tax partner at a Big Four accounting firm for many years and got out of that and fell into funds management by mistake about 20 years ago. Had several AFSLs. I got AFSLs for other companies. And during that journey, I found a lot of people that needed an AFSL but couldn't get one, or needed an AFSL but didn't want to get one. So I started MARQ Trustees about 8 years ago. And since then, we've had solid and steady growth with a range of funds ranging from property investment funds, property development funds, mortgage and other debt funds, and various other funds, including various alternative type of funds such as water funds, seafood fishing rights funds, impact investing funds, carbon funds, all sorts.
And is the market that you just described the market you're targeting, or are there other newer kinds of possibilities for you?
No, it's pretty much what I've described. Anybody who needs an AFSL but as I said, can't get one or doesn't want one, we can generally provide the requisite AFSL services and ancillary services that they might need, such as fund administration and registry.
And speaking of registries, what was the process you went through in terms of researching registry providers that led you to Registry Direct?
So as I mentioned, about 20 years ago when I came into funds management, we ran all of our funds registries on Excel spreadsheets. And that of course had its own particular challenges, both in terms of onboarding. So we had paper applications form, and I can talk about that a bit more in a moment. But also onboarding investors, exiting investors, unit prices, address changes, merged holdings, distributions, the tax components of distributions. There are a whole lot of administrative issues that made Excel spreadsheets such a cumbersome way to record data. So I started researching registry providers many years ago, and whilst we found that a lot just did the applications process but didn't run a maintenance module, if you like. And we found others that ran a maintenance module but didn't have an applications process. So unless you went to one of the big guys where the onboarding cost was $20,000 and then an annual cost of $20,000, well, the funds for which we were operating obviously couldn't afford that. So we persevered with Excel spreadsheets. We met with Registry Direct probably about 5 years ago now, and they had a maintenance module, but they didn't have an applications module. And then during COVID, actually, we had a new fund that was looking to launch. They were expecting to onboard between 120 and 150 investors. And if you think about how that would have had to have been processed in COVID times with paper application forms, people needing to get passports and driver's licenses certified by their lawyer or pharmacist or whoever it might be, it was just really, really problematic. So we were scratching our heads wondering how we were going to do that. And I got a call from Stuart Rowe, the Managing Director of Registry Direct, and he said, hey, we've now got our applications portal ready to go. So this was just fantastic. So we worked with Stuart to help improve the online applications process, and that process now takes probably 6 or 7 minutes, regardless of whether the applicant is an individual, a joint individual, or an individual investing jointly, a company or a trust or a super fund, it's about 6 or 7 minutes. It's seamless, it's easy, and if they're a repeat investor, it probably takes them about 2 or 3 minutes to complete an online application.
What things are MARQ Trustees doing that you couldn't do without Registry Direct?
We couldn't be anywhere near as efficient as we are in our onboarding process. And at the end of the day, any registry system needs to be applicant friendly. So I think we all remember the times when we filled out, a 25-page bank form or something for some investment where you want to invest, but the process of investing is so cumbersome and time-consuming and complicated and full of jargon that you walk away from it. You just say, well, I can't be bothered. I'll do it another time, and then you don't come back to it because you're sick of it. So we spent a lot of time back in the paper application form days, making that a very streamlined and easy to follow process. Notwithstanding there was still jargon in it and so on that we had to explain to applicants as they went through it. But the Registry Direct platform is intuitive. So you nominate at the start as to whether you're an individual, a company or a trust, and it steps you through the process. It tells you what you need to fill out. There aren't boxes there that you don't fill out that aren't applicable, and it's simple. It's easy. It takes 6 or 7 minutes. If you're a super fund, you have to upload a copy of your super fund trust deed. Sometimes, other times, if it has an ABN, you just put the ABN number in. And it's so simple. And that is a really positive thing for investment managers and trustees to have, to make it easy for investors to invest.
Every good partnership is mutual. What do you think MARQ Trustees brings to Registry Direct?
Clients, obviously, but with our knowledge and experience and the types of funds we interact with, we can also be a good sounding board for future product developments that we have helped Registry Direct with, and also on some of the technical issues we can provide an investor perspective, a trustee perspective, to help them make it more user-friendly and interactive with the investors.
Andrew, what would you say to a trustee business that was contemplating using Registry Direct?
It really is a tremendous software system for any registry provider.
That's been INDepth with Andrew Patrick, Managing Director of MARQ Trustees. Andrew, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, James.